In the intricate tapestry of the human mind, Asperger's syndrome stands as a testament to the diversity of thought and perception. What was once a standalone diagnosis is now part of the autism spectrum, encompassing individuals whose unique challenges and strengths shape their journey through life. At its core, Asperger's syndrome is characterized by differences in social interaction, communication, and patterns of behavior. For those with Asperger's, understanding social cues, like facial expressions, tone of voice, or even sarcasm, can feel like navigating a foreign language. Psychologists say people with Asperger's are often incredibly intelligent, but they may struggle with the nuances of social communication. It's not about a lack of desire to connect, it's about seeing the world through a different lens. One hallmark of Asperger's is intense focus on specific interests. Whether it's mastering a subject, solving complex problems, or creating intricate art, these passions often become sources of joy and identity. However, the world can feel overwhelming for some. Sensory sensitivities, such as heightened reactions to noise, textures, or light, are common. These experiences shape how individuals navigate daily life. Science continues to uncover the roots of Asperger's syndrome. Genetics play a significant role, with differences in brain structure and connectivity influencing behavior. But it's important to remember, no two individuals are alike. Early diagnosis and intervention are key. Social skills training, behavioral therapy, and educational support help individuals build confidence and adapt to challenges. Creating a supportive environment means focusing on strengths while addressing specific needs. Every child has potential. They just need the right tools. Individuals with Asperger's syndrome say, "I used to feel out of place, like I didn't belong. But over time, I've learned to embrace who I am." Another individual expressed, "My interest became my career." Asperger's isn't a limitation, it's a different way of thinking. History is filled with individuals who might have exhibited traits of Asperger's syndrome. Innovators like Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein. Today, advocates like Greta Thunberg show us the power of embracing neurodiversity. Asperger's syndrome is not a disorder to be fixed. It's a unique perspective to be understood and valued. By fostering inclusivity and awareness, we can create a world where every individual has the opportunity to thrive. At a neurological level, Asperger's is often associated with atypical activity in regions of the brain. Studies show differences in areas like the prefrontal cortex, which governs decision-making and social behavior, and the amygdala, which processes emotions. What's fascinating is the connectivity. People with Asperger's tend to have unique neural wiring, which could explain their strengths in pattern recognition and focus, but also their difficulties with social interaction. Too often, Asperger's is defined by its challenges, but every individual's experience is unique. Some excel in creative fields, others in logic-based professions like engineering or IT. Many contribute perspectives that might otherwise be overlooked. An artist on the spectrum said, "My attention to detail is something I used to get teased about. Now, it's what makes my art stand out." For years, Asperger's syndrome was thought to affect mostly males. But research now reveals that many girls and women go undiagnosed. Girls often mask their symptoms, learning to mimic social behaviors to blend in. This can delay diagnosis and lead to feelings of isolation. Asperger's presents differently across life stages. For children, the focus might be on social skills and education. Teenagers may grapple with identity and peer pressure. Adults face workplace challenges, and older individuals reflect on lifelong journeys of self-discovery. An older individual on the spectrum said, "Getting diagnosed in my 50s was like a light bulb turning on suddenly. So much of my life made sense." Understanding Asperger's isn't just about science, it's about society. Advocacy groups worldwide are working to shift the narrative from one of limitations to one of acceptance and empowerment. Whether it's a friend, family member, or colleague, supporting someone with Asperger's begins with understanding. Small adjustments, like clear communication or respecting their routines, can make a big difference. A parent of a child with Asperger's syndrome said, "My child doesn't need to change who they are, they just need a world that sees their potential." As we continue to learn about Asperger's syndrome, one thing becomes clear: it's not about fitting into the world, it's about making space for everyone to shine. Asperger's syndrome lies within the autism spectrum, a broad category that encompasses individuals with diverse strengths and challenges. While those with Asperger's often have no significant language delays or intellectual disabilities, the variation within the spectrum is vast. A developmental psychologist said, "One of the biggest misconceptions is that autism is a single experience. People with Asperger's have unique profiles, with some excelling in logic and detail-oriented tasks, and others focusing on artistic expression or creative problem-solving. For many, Asperger's isn't just a challenge, it's also a strength. Individuals with Asperger's often have exceptional attention to detail, analytical thinking, and a deep commitment to their interests. A scientist on the spectrum says my ability to hyperfocus and see patterns others miss has been a huge asset in my work. Asperger's has shaped my career in the best way possible. Many individuals with Asperger's experience the world through a heightened sensory lens. This can include sensitivity to lights, sounds, or textures, which may make everyday environments overwhelming. An occupational therapist working with a child says, sensory sensitivities aren't a weakness, they're part of how the brain processes the world. By providing tools like noise-canceling headphones or sensory-friendly spaces, we can empower individuals to thrive. One challenge often faced by those with Asperger's is masking, the conscious effort to mimic social behaviors to fit in. While masking helps some navigate social settings, it can also lead to burnout and a loss of identity. An adult diagnosed with Asperger's says, I spent years trying to hide who I was, but it left me exhausted. Learning to accept myself has been the most liberating part of my journey. Contrary to stereotypes, individuals with Asperger's value relationships deeply. While social interactions can be challenging, many form meaningful connections through shared interests and mutual understanding. A partner of someone with Asperger's says my spouse's honesty and passion are what I love most about them. Communication can take extra effort, but it's worth it. In education and the workplace, individuals with Asperger's often excel when given the right support. Unfortunately, rigid systems can create barriers. Flexibility is key. Allowing students to learn at their own pace and play to their strengths can transform their experience. Employers who foster inclusive environments not only support neurodiverse employees but also benefit from their unique perspectives and skills. Advocacy is changing how society views Asperger's and autism. Movements promoting neurodiversity emphasize the value of diverse ways of thinking and being. A neurodiversity advocate says the message we're sending is clear: difference isn't a deficit. By embracing neurodiversity, we all benefit. Support is crucial at every stage of life. From early interventions like speech and occupational therapy to adult resources like counseling and workplace accommodations, these tools help individuals reach their full potential. Parent of a child says finding the right support was a game changer for our family. It's made a world of difference in our child's confidence and happiness. Did you know that many individuals with Asperger's go undiagnosed, sometimes for decades? In particular, women and people from underrepresented communities are often overlooked due to subtle or masked symptoms. A late diagnosed adult woman says, I always felt different, like I was playing a role everyone else had mastered. My diagnosis in my 40s was a revelation. It helped me understand myself for the first time. The experience of Asperger's isn't universal. Cultural expectations, societal norms, and access to healthcare shape how it's understood and supported worldwide. A cultural psychologist says in some cultures, traits associated with Asperger's, like intense focus or a reserved demeanor, are valued, while in others they may be misunderstood as antisocial behavior. One aspect rarely discussed is the emotional depth of individuals with Asperger's. While they may struggle to express feelings in conventional ways, their inner emotional world is often rich and profound. A therapist who works with individuals on the spectrum says they feel deeply but might show it differently. Art, music, and writing often become powerful outlets for emotional expression. Transitioning into adulthood brings new challenges and opportunities. For some, securing employment or navigating relationships can be daunting, while others find fulfillment in careers that align with their passions. Vocational coach says workplaces are starting to recognize the value of neurodiverse employees. With small accommodations, individuals with Asperger's can thrive and contribute in unique ways. Finding a sense of belonging is vital. For many, joining support groups or online communities provides a safe space to share experiences and learn from others. A community organizer says when people come together, they realize they're not alone. Sharing stories builds confidence and a sense of identity. The neurodiversity movement continues to reshape how we think about conditions like Asperger's. Advocates argue for acceptance and understanding rather than fixing what makes someone unique. A prominent neurodiversity advocate says we don't need a cure for different ways of thinking, we need a society that values every perspective. Research is shedding light on the complexities of Asperger's. From genetic studies to advanced neuroimaging, scientists are uncovering the biological underpinnings of the condition. Lead researcher says, we're finding that differences in brain connectivity may explain the unique strengths and challenges of those with Asperger's. It's a field full of exciting discoveries. Named after Austrian pediatrician Dr. Hans Asperger in the 1940s, Asperger's syndrome remained relatively unknown until the 1990s, while Dr. Asperger's work highlighted the potential and abilities of his young patients. Modern discussions also raise ethical concerns about aspects of his legacy. It's important to acknowledge the origins of the diagnosis while recognizing how our understanding of autism has evolved since then. Autism is often called a spectrum for a reason. Traits like sensory sensitivities, communication styles, and repetitive behaviors vary widely, not just between individuals but across different stages of life. Think of the spectrum not as a line but as a starburst. Each person has their own unique pattern of strengths and challenges. Misdiagnosis remains a significant hurdle. Conditions like ADHD or social anxiety can mask or overlap with Asperger's, delaying proper diagnosis and support. Psychiatrists says recognizing the interplay between conditions is crucial for effective treatment. A tailored approach can transform lives. Technology is revolutionizing how individuals with Asperger's navigate the world. Tools for communication, organization, and sensory management are opening new doors for independence and connection. A tech developer specializing in neurodiversity says our goal is to create tools that empower individuals to focus on their strengths and overcome barriers. Building relationships can be a challenge for anyone, but for individuals with Asperger's, unique communication styles may require extra patience and understanding. A relationship counselor says clear communication and mutual respect are key. When both parties are willing to learn from each other, relationships can be incredibly fulfilling. Inclusive education is critical for young people with Asperger's. When schools adapt their teaching methods to accommodate diverse learners, everyone benefits. A special education teacher says flexibility and creativity in teaching allow us to bring out the best in every student, helping them feel valued and understood. Workplaces are beginning to recognize the potential of neurodiverse employees. Companies that foster inclusive environments often report increased innovation and problem solving. A corporate diversity officer says supporting neurodiverse employees isn't just ethical. It's good business. Their perspectives can spark creativity and efficiency. From local initiatives to global movements, advocacy for Asperger's and autism continues to grow. The focus is shifting from accommodation to celebration of differences. A global advocate says our mission is to move beyond awareness to acceptance and action. Every voice matters in creating a more inclusive world. Life with Asperger's is a journey of continuous learning and growth. At every stage, individuals can discover new ways to express themselves, connect with others, and contribute to their communities. An older adult reflecting on their journey says life doesn't stop at a diagnosis. It's just the beginning of understanding who you are and what you can achieve. Recent research into Asperger's syndrome has provided a clearer picture of how the brain works. Studies show unique patterns of connectivity in areas related to social communication, sensory processing, and cognitive focus. A neuroscientist says advances in imaging technology are helping us identify the neural signatures of Asperger's. These insights pave the way for more personalized interventions. Genetics also play a significant role. While no single autism gene exists, combinations of genetic variants influence traits associated with Asperger's. For many individuals with Asperger's, sensory sensitivity is a defining experience. Loud sounds, bright lights, or even certain textures can feel overwhelming. An occupational therapist says we work to create environments that are sensory-friendly, helping individuals manage their surroundings and focus on their strengths. Tools like weighted blankets, noise-canceling headphones, and fidget devices can transform daily life. One of the most remarkable traits of individuals with Asperger's is their intense focus on their interests. This often leads to incredible creativity and expertise in areas they're passionate about. Art is my way of expressing what I can't put into words. It allows me to share my inner world with others. Many individuals with Asperger's also experience co-occurring mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, or OCD. These challenges can be compounded by misunderstandings or lack of support. A clinical psychologist says addressing mental health alongside Asperger's traits is critical. Supportive therapies like CBT or mindfulness training can make a significant difference. Individuals with Asperger's bring unique strengths to the workplace, including problem-solving, attention to detail, and creative thinking. However, rigid workplace cultures can create barriers. A corporate diversity officer says inclusive policies, like flexible hours and clear communication practices, help neurodiverse employees thrive. The result is a more innovative and empathetic workplace. Some are even redefining workplaces by creating spaces designed for neurodiverse employees. From education reform to workplace accommodations, advocacy groups are working to shape policies that support individuals with Asperger's. We need policies that don't just accommodate differences but celebrate them. Everyone deserves the opportunity to contribute to society in their own way. Families and communities play a vital role in the lives of individuals with Asperger's. Providing understanding, patience, and support can make all the difference. A parent of a child with Asperger's says learning to see the world through my child's eyes has been a gift. It's taught me to appreciate the small things and celebrate progress. Across the globe, cultures approach Asperger's differently. In some countries, societal stigma remains a barrier, while others have embraced neurodiversity as a strength. A cultural anthropologist says understanding cultural differences helps us create global initiatives that respect diverse perspectives while advancing inclusion. The future of Asperger's research, support, and advocacy is bright. With growing awareness, better tools, and a commitment to understanding, we're moving closer to a world where neurodiversity is fully embraced. A young adult with Asperger's, we're more than our diagnosis. We're artists, scientists, teachers, and dreamers. The world just needs to see us for who we truly are. For many, Asperger's is a lifelong mystery. Late diagnoses are increasingly common as awareness grows, bringing both relief and regret for missed opportunities. A late diagnosed adult says being diagnosed at 50 was bittersweet. It explains so much, but I couldn't help wondering how different my life might have been with earlier support. Psychologist says late diagnosis highlights gaps in our understanding and the importance of recognizing diverse presentations of Asperger's throughout the lifespan.